Is everyone smiling yet? They say smiles are contagious. I'm a smiley guy. Everyone that knows me knows I smile a lot. But I have a stat I'm about to share with you that will wipe the smile off most anyone's face. According to the World Food Program, 66 million children are going to school hungry. In 2019, how can that possibly be? There's still 66 million children going hungry to school. I believe I have the solution, a real idea that if it catches fire, a concept I can share and we can spread to the whole world. To share my idea, though, I want to take a step back in time. In 2003, I moved myself down to Argentina at 19 years old to serve a mission for my church. I loved my time in Argentina. The food, the people, the language, I loved it all. Minus some of the foods. They weren't all amazing, but I loved a lot of the food in Argentina. I loved the friends I made there, and I made a lot of them, but it was a culture shock, right? To go from middle-class U.S. boy, 19 years old, never been out of the U.S., to Argentina. I thought the culture shock was over when I came home to my mom and dad, my beautiful mom. She took me to the mall when I got home. Yes, at 21, it was kind of an awkward moment going to the mall with my mom. We get in the mall, we're walking around. She grabs a pair of jeans and says, "Hey, how about these ones?" I'm like, "Yeah, Mom, those are good looking." All of a sudden, my mom had some real style after 2 years in Argentina. And I grabbed these jeans. I'm like, "Wow, these fit right. They look good." And then I looked at the price tag, $40 for a pair of jeans? That would buy a month worth of food for the families I was hanging out with in Argentina. I got a sick look on my face. My mom was like, "What's going on?" I said, "Put me on a plane back to Argentina. I don't want to be here anymore." That was a real culture shock for me. Think about the clothes you're wearing. What could we buy in Argentina for the amount of money you spent on the clothes you're wearing? I've stayed in touch with these friends that I made in Argentina, Juan and Ediberto. Mario, my friend, he teaches English in Argentina. I called Mario. I said, "Mario, my business in the U.S., it's really taken off. We're in the education space. You teach English in Argentina. I want your ideas. What school could we help in Argentina?" And Mario's reply took me back a bit. "We have to feed them before we teach them," he said. And I thought, it was bad in Argentina when I was there, but I didn't think it was that bad. We have to feed them before we teach them. So I said, "Has it really gotten that bad? What's the status?" He sent me a news video. It showed these nasty vegetables on a dirty table, and it explained that a mom was going to use those to make stew for the night. She'd salvaged them from a junkyard. She'd sent her boys out to hunt for ground squirrels and pigeons, things they could hunt without having to have a gun. And then at the end of the news video, it shows their dirty bucket she picks up and pours it into a dirty pot on a dirt floor. And I was like, wow, so this isn't really that new a news for me. I mean, I've seen this stuff when I was there. I guess they're still there, right? That's still the status. Can you imagine, though, folks? As a young boy, you come home from school with homework, and then your mom says, "Hey, if you want meat with this stew I'm going to make, you got to go hunt for it." Is school a priority anymore? I firmly believe, standing on this red dot tonight, I want to tell you that I firmly believe education solves poverty. But like my friend Mario said, we can't teach them until we've fed them. See, I remember it, dirt floors, but this is 2019. I had a friend send me this picture of a house recently constructed. Can you imagine bringing your newborn baby home from the hospital to a dirt floor? I remember these horses. This again, a picture from 2019. I remember it when I was there 15 years ago. A malnourished horse being driven by a malnourished man trying to figure out how he's going to put food on the table for tonight. Not for the week, We got to figure out what we're going to feed the kids tonight. So I'd seen this stuff. I was doing some more research to see how much worse it really had gotten. When I was in Argentina in 2003, 3 pesos bought $1 in the U.S. Now it takes 38 pesos to buy $1 in the U.S. That is extreme inflation, folks. We're talking worse than 10 times as bad as it was. We're talking the sandwich that cost $3 now costs them $38 to buy that sandwich. I came across a study, the Borgen Project, says that 20% of the people in Argentina still live on less than $2 per day. Now, not everyone in Argentina is poor. There's some very affluent parts of Argentina, just like everywhere else in the world. But in the developing countries, this is a real problem. And as I sat there reading this just recently, I made a decision. There's something we can do about this, and I have some ideas, an idea worth spreading. It's called charity fasting. Fasting is something we're all familiar with. For diets, you've heard of intermittent fasting. It's being tried by the millions right now. Wrestlers and boxers, they try fasting as a form of losing weight to get to their ideal weight class. In Bible times, they talked about fasting. Fasting has existed for basically as long as mankind has been on the planet. So charity fasting is the idea of skipping some meals, saving the money you would have spent on that food, and then donating that money so that it can go to put food on the tables of these poor people across the developing countries. Charity fasting is explained this way very well. It's you minus 2 meals, plus the money you would have spent donated, which buys 10, maybe 20 meals, depends on the exchange rates of the developing countries we're working with. Like I said, fasting has existed. This is a way that we can truly end world hunger. Think about it this way. In the USA, the cost of 2 pizzas buys 22 tacos in Mexico. It buys 20 bowls of noodles in Thailand. We can buy, in Venezuela, 23 dozen eggs and put 57 loaves of bread on the tables of folks in Afghanistan with that pizza that you choose to skip. I love charity fasting for a myriad of reasons. One of the greatest is that I truly believe it could end world hunger if everyone participated. The World Food Program says that there are 795 million people who aren't getting enough to eat. That's about 10% of the planet. If the other 90% of us participated in charity fasting, we could truly end world hunger. One of the greatest things about fasting is when you're skipping that meal and you start to feel that hunger, you realize that feeling that you're choosing to feel, there are poor children feeling that same thing because their mom and dad can't figure out how to put food on their table. With TED Talks, TEDx Talks in my case, everyone has an idea worth spreading. I hope that you'll share mine, that you'll tell the world about what it could do to end world hunger. It's 2019. Let's figure this out together. Thank you.